Myself, I would say I'm an historian.
History is a very boring subject.
Not boring at all.
In the form of storytelling,
You cannot separate history from archaeology.
then that sounds interesting already.
I can swim for about 10 kilometers.
I heard that you got elected to the French Academy.
That is the summit of French scholarship intelligentsia. You can't go beyond. So that's very prestigious position. I am Osmund Bopearachchi. I was born in Sri Lanka and educated here. And after that, I went to France for my studies, and then became a director of research in the French National Center for Scientific Research. And then I was teaching at Sorbonne. And after my retirement in France, I went to the University of California, Berkeley, and I was teaching there in the Center for Buddhist Studies, for especially working on art history and history of this region.
From my perspective, history is a very boring subject. Is that so?
I mean, the word history comes from stories. We tell stories. The only difference between a good historian and a storyteller, we base our telling, our writings, based on historical facts, which can be inscriptions, texts, and other things. So it can be a wonderful subject. My basic area of research or expertise is on Central Asia, which is today's northern Pakistan, northern India, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. But you cannot separate history from archaeology, epigraphy, and also art history. In Sri Lanka, we are very lucky because we have chronicles like Mahavamsa, Deepavamsa, Rajavali, and other things. To write the Indian history, they don't have chronicles. So far, we haven't found. We might find something. So we basically write the history of India based on epigraphical evidence, that means inscriptions, and also coins. I'll give you just one example. I really worked on a coin hoard or a treasure found in Afghanistan in early 1990s, which contained 4 tons of coins. That means 4,000 kilograms of coins.
Wow.
So you can imagine the coin production. So I've been working a lot in Afghanistan, even during the civil war period, and also in Pakistan and other countries. So it's not boring at all.
History in the form of storytelling,
Yeah.
then that sounds interesting already.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, the history that we know is basically memorizing a lot of information from the past.
Past,
but
yes.
the moment that you say it is a story, and it completely goes into a different level.
Exactly.
And apart from this historian as a career, I heard you're a great swimmer.
Yeah, I was.
And you like to take a dip in the ocean specifically. Why is that?
Because I was born in Negombo, not very far from the Indian Ocean. So every weekend we used to go and swim. I can swim for about 10 kilometers, not now, when I was young. And then I was the captain of the swimming team in the California University. And I love the feeling that you get in the water and under the water. There are certain movements we can do with our body, hands, and other things when we walk on the surface. The movements that we make in the water and under the water, they are different. You get more freedom. As long as you can stay underwater without the bottle, if you can stay for 2 to 3 minutes, and that emotion that you get out of swimming, it's a wonderful feeling. The freedom. You just leave your body, you just float.
And you get to see a lot of different things that you don't normally see.
Yeah, it depends whether you are swimming in a river or a lake or Indian Ocean. Or especially, I used to swim a lot in the Greek seas because the beauty, the blue, and also there are so many things to see. I mean, corals and other things. So it's a wonderful feeling that you get out of it.
So a great historian, great swimmer. I'm sure there's more to it. And you have written a lot of books.
Yes.
And I hear that you've written 18 books already.
Yes, I have written 18 books. Most of them are written in French or in English. Half of it, they concern the numismatic history. I mean, I've almost published all the important collections of these coins that I am studying. I mean, starting from the Alexander the Great, going up to the end of the Sasanian period, before the coming of the Arabic culture into Central Asia. So I published the collections in the Bibliothèque Nationale, which is the National Library in France, and the American Numismatic Society, Smithsonian, Pakistan, and other places. Those are in the form of catalogs with the commentary. And then I started working on art history, mainly Buddhist and Hindu, in India and of course Central Asia. So one of my most recent books, was written on the Gandharan Buddhist art. In today's Pakistan, northern part of it, Islam came to Pakistan, as we know, around the 8th century. Not before that, there was a huge Buddhist culture, and it is expressed by the Buddhist sculptures on the coins, and also they have hundreds of Buddhist monasteries. So I work on those sculptures. At the same time, I got interested in the Hindu iconography, Hindu art, especially of the earlier period, especially the invention of the images of Shiva, Vishnu, Kartikeya, Parvati, and all the gods and goddesses of India. So those are about 3-4 books on that. And recently I wrote another book on the roots of Sri Lankan art, and also, of course, the coins found in Sri Lanka. So I'm just working on the second part of the book. The first book covered from the 3rd century BC up to about the 5th century. But the classical period of Sri Lankan art is mainly the 7th, 8th, 9th century. So I'm working on that. So those are the main themes that I have studied in my life.
And one more final thing, I think I have to ask this.
Yes.
I heard that you got elected to the French Academy.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the most prestigious appointment that you can get.
Yes.
Could you say something about that?
When you say you are a member of the French Academy,
Yeah.
that is the summit of French scholarship, intelligentsia. You can't go beyond. French, what we call the French Academy, it's called French Institute, composed of 5 academies. There's one for the medicine, one for philosophy, and one for literature. I am in the Academy of it's called in French Les Inscriptions des Belles-Lettres. It is mainly it's composed of historians and also epigraphists and others. Academy was created more than 200 years back by Louis XIV to preserve the French language. And of course, it has more dimensions today. And in my academy, where I am, there are 80 scholars working on different fields. Not only on Central Asia, but also in other Greek and Roman civilization, Islamic civilization, and other things. So you can't be a candidate. You can say, I want to be an academician. They have to decide. So I was elected in March, 10th of March, as a corresponding member of the French Academy.
Wow.
So that's a very prestigious position, and I'm very happy about it.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
We are very happy about it, Doctor.
Yeah.
And we are certainly very proud. A Sri Lankan represented in French Academy, the summit of an appointment. I think we should be all proud of what Mr. Doctor, I would rather say Dr. Osmund Bopearachchi. And thank you very much for joining us today, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you very much.